Shalom and welcome to another one of our 125th anniversary videos, interviewing people, reminiscing about how families came here and what this congregation, this community means to them. I'm with some dear and special friends, Lee and Barby Diznoff. Welcome and thank you for joining me today. Let's start with how your families came here. How did your families get here?
Well, my great-grandparents, Sarah Mara and Philip Cohen, had immigrated from Russia. They had 7 children and they all went to New York. And then they eventually came here. I think 5 out of 7 of them came here, one of them being my grandfather, Michael Cohen. Philip Cohen was a Hebrew school teacher here. And then my grandfather and my grandmother, Michael and Lena, he was a tailor, but then he became a builder by accident. And then, of course, my mother was the youngest of 4 children, and she was born here, as was I and my siblings.
That's amazing.
Yeah, a lot of us. And then my father's family, they were born in the United States. They were not immigrants, and they came here from Chicago right before World War II.
What brought them here?
I'm not sure. I think some kind of business. It came with my father and my aunt, and that's where my mother and father met.
Very good. And Lee, what about you?
Well, my father came here when, right before the war, he followed my Uncle Alex to Charleston, and they worked prior to the war for Cohen Drug. My father went off to war and came back to Charleston and was here ever since.
Now, you both grew up here in this area. Talk to us about growing up in Charleston. Obviously, we have 2 different experiences, Temple Israel and B'nai Jacob Synagogue, but there was a lot of blending. What was it like growing up in Charleston, Lee?
Well, the synagogue was such an integral part of our growing up here. We spent so much time in the gym, at Hebrew school, at services, especially to the point we got bar mitzvah. I remember, that gym every day after school, except for Fridays, was just packed with kids, and we were playing basketball, we were playing baseball in there, playing football. It was an amazing thing. The thing that always occurred to me was how much foresight the people who built the synagogue had in putting that gym in, because I think it was the first really nice gym in a church or synagogue in Charleston. And shortly thereafter, all the other churches began building gyms.
You make an interesting point, because a lot of guests that come by, first of all, they're overwhelmed because it looks like a Jewish community center when they walk in. They think we're a small community. They see that gym and they're so impressed with it.
It is. I mean, it was fantastic growing up there. I mean, we just burned up time there. It was really part of our fabric of our lives there.
Now, the temple also has a gym as well.
They do. The new temple, I remember there was an old temple on Virginia Street, kind of right behind the Riverview Terrace, and I remember when they built the new one.
What was it like growing up at the temple and the synagogue?
It probably similar. We had large Sunday school classes then. There were lots of children, and we were very active back and forth between the synagogue and the temple. We had youth group. We came to each other's events. We all knew one another.
Can I ask how you guys met?
Well, we met at somebody's wedding. We didn't really know each other because there's a little bit of an age difference.
Not very much.
It's getting more and more.
This is reminding me of the Juliet game from Shabbat in the Woods. I better stop asking
remember that. Yeah.
We remember those well.
Fun days.
That's right. We're trying to keep people together here. Lee, I'm gonna put you on the spot because last week I interviewed Ben Hark, and Ben said, "You've got to interview Lee. Lee's got some pretty good stories," and the chicken story came up, and he said, "You talk to Lee." So Lee, the floor is yours.
It used to be when we went to Hebrew school. At some point in time, we'd all take a walk down to the Valley Bell, which was on the corner of Washington Street. And one day, let me tell you the one thing about Ben Hark. Ben Hark, growing up, always had stuff in his pocket that would either explode or make loud noises. Okay. Anyway, we went down to the Valley Bell, and we were walking back along about where the red carpet is now. There was an old house, and one of the fellows with us was Gary Borstein, and he looked over there and he said, "There's a chicken in that yard." At that point in time, Benny pulled out a firecracker and lit it and threw it into the yard. And we thought, oh my, we ought to run. You know? So we took off, and as we're looking back, we see chicken feathers flying up in the air. And to this day, we won't admit to it.
You got more?
I do.
Then you want rebuttal time.
No.
I'll have to bring him back on.
But what I always remember was going to Hebrew school here, and the characters that we met in the form of Hannah Reese and Reverend Samuels, and depending on whose class you were in, it was hysterical, because in Hannah Reese's class, we would go in there, and after coming from the gym all sweaty and everything like that, and there were several girls in the class. I can't remember who they were, but they were his favorites, and then there was us who were sitting in one side of the room sweating, and he'd always have one of the girls come up to the desk, and he'd give her a glass and ask her to go get a glass of cold water, and we'd be sitting there with their tongues hanging out, you know. And then with Reverend Samuels, it was like he knew everything. I mean, he had everything memorized, and we'd be reading from the sitter, and we'd make a mistake, and he'd come over to you, and he'd grab one of your fingers, or he would do something. It was child abuse back then.
Well, I can say, exploring my memories, one of my happiest memories always was the bar and bat mitzvah lessons, and having Robert and Amy together it was one of the pleasures I always remember. Whenever I see you, I think of your children. Mm-hmm. What does this community, what does B'nai Jacob mean to you as we approach our 125th anniversary?
You know, we all sort of come and go. A lot of people have left Charleston, but we all know each other, and we know each other's stories. And, you know, to know someone's life story, you know, they're the people that understand you and love you and know you. And even though, you know, people are gone, we still have that connection, that we know each other's stories. And I think that's really important.
Yeah.
I think, you know, basically the closeness to the Jewish community, and the fact that, you know, I still have a lot of friends now. Most of them have left Charleston, but, you know, I still hear from them, and, you know, occasionally we see them. I mean, we're getting older now, but, you know, I've made a lot of close friends from this. And
doing these interviews, one of the things that I'm coming to the realization is the difference between history and memory. You know, history is something that happened long ago, and it doesn't really have a connection. But having these interviews, talking with people like you, I realized that it's not history, it's memory. It's things that not only do we remember, but we share together, the commonalities. And it's just been extraordinary, and I just feel honored to be a part of it. Thank you so much for sharing some time with us as we draw close to our 125th anniversary. I hope you'll join us and share in some of the memories of B'nai Jacob Synagogue, Temple Israel, and the entire community here in the Charleston Valley. On behalf of Lee and Barbie, thank you for watching our video, and have a great day.